At number 2 on my fantasy playlist. Boy, do I remember the first time I saw the video of Complicated by Avril Lavigne. This girl had some spunk and attitude and then some. Fantasy playlist of August 4th, 2002. Skeeter Boy, the song that came after Complicated, one of my favorite songs by Avril Lavigne. It's from her debut album called Let's Go. The song Complicated was number 1 in Australia for 6 weeks. It was number 1 in New Zealand for 9 weeks. Number 2 in America. Went to number 3 in England. It was a hit all over the world. This is the first hit for Avril Lavigne. But to make a long story very short, and I have to cut it to the gist, it was not an easy road for Avril Lavigne after she got signed with her Arista Records. They wanted her to do a folksy type country sound, pigeonhole her into sort of a folk country type music, and she was into the heavy guitar stuff. She collaborated with a guy, and they came up with a couple of songs that featured some heavy guitar, and Arista said, "No, we don't want this. We don't like this." They tried to hook Avril Lavigne up with some more producers, but things didn't really click until Avril Lavigne hooked up with a production team called The Matrix. The Matrix consisted of 3 people. It was Scott Spock, Lauren Christie, and Graham Edwards. They interviewed Avril Lavigne in a recording studio. Avril Lavigne they had already listened to some of her stuff that she had recorded with Arista that was not released, and it had sort of a Faith Hill vibe. But when Avril Lavigne walked into the recording studio, I guess she was wearing all this, the flamboyant outfits that she's known to wear. The Matrix thought, wait a minute, this country vibe is not fitting her attitude. And after interviewing Avril Lavigne for about an hour, she told them, "I want to do songs that have sort of a punk rock sound, a punk rock attitude." And they said, "Okay." Matrix told her, "Okay, come on by tomorrow." And Avril Lavigne came by the next day, and during the afternoon, they wrote a song that evolved into Complicated. And it's kind of a complicated story, no pun intended, but I tried to simplify it as much as I can. The video to this song was shot in 2 days. It was shot at Eagle Rock Plaza in Los Angeles, and by the way, that mall remained open while they shot the video. So here it is. This is, my favorite song by Avril Lavigne, one of her best, was Girlfriend. I loved it. Loved some of her records. Complicated. All started, that's the song that got her on the map. Number 2 on my fantasy playlist.